Palestinian people.
Well, let's speak now to Juliette Touma, who is Director of Communications for the UN Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees. Juliette joins us from Amman in neighbouring Jordan. We're just hearing, Juliette, there from a man on the border saying the trucks are all lined up. They're really hoping that more will get through. 150 made it across yesterday. Is that a good number, or were you hoping for more? Can you put it into context for us?
Morning to you, Lucy. I'm in East Jerusalem, actually just out of Gaza, where I was for a few days visiting, including our teams there. Look, whatever is coming in is more than welcome. We expect much more. We are ready to receive much more. The situation on the ground is absolutely terrible. We also need to start sending supplies to the private sector. When I was driving around in Gaza, it was very visible that all the shops, including the pharmacies, were closed. And so humanitarian aid is important, but it is time that the private sector is up on its feet and is supported to restart and reopen.
Juliette, what is in these trucks?
Basic medical supplies, food, medicines, drinking water, some cleaning material and hygiene kits. Very, very important, as basic as this sounds, because when I visited one of our shelters, it was very overcrowded, Lucy. People were literally on top of each other and they lacked the basic hygiene supplies. Some of them have not washed for days on end. Some of them left with only their clothes on them that they have not changed for 45 days. So it's absolutely fundamental that these basic items, as basic as they might sound, get in and more gets in.
Juliette, given that incredible level of need, how do you decide who gets the aid?
Look, yesterday we reached a very sad milestone at UNRWA. 1 million people are now sheltering in UNRWA facilities. This is not a given. The United Nations rarely does that. And so in Gaza, we have opened more than 150 of our facilities. The situation in these facilities are very, very bad simply because our teams are stretched and we did not have enough supplies, and because the number of people is absolutely huge. We have factored only for 150,000 people. Now we have 1 million people. And people were telling me in one of those shelters, we don't need anything. We just need protection. We just need safety.
How are your teams there, Juliette?
Absolutely heroic, Lucy. Absolutely fantastic to see everyone, to reunite with everyone. You get so much energy from them, despite the fact that they themselves have been displaced and were forced to flee their homes, mostly in the northern parts of the Gaza Strip, despite the fact that they have lost loved ones, despite the fact that we all are grieving the loss of 108 colleagues of ours who were killed since the war began in Gaza. But yet our teams are there, they're on the front lines, they're doing everything possible to provide for people in need. And people trust UNRWA. They come to UNRWA in search of safety, even though our facilities have not been spared, even though nearly 70 of our facilities have been hit. Many of them were sheltering people when they were hit. People remain in those shelters because they feel safe under the UN flag, despite the fact that it's been violated more than once.
Juliette, have you also been hearing, though, that people are also trying to get back home to the north during this pause in fighting, even though Israel has dropped leaflets telling people to stay in the south? What are you hearing about the movement of people inside Gaza?
Yeah, I saw those reports, including of people who were harmed while they tried to go home. No place like home. People want to go and see what is happening to their homes and to see if they can live there again. They hear all these reports about severe destruction, and also because the South, up until the pause, unlike other reports, the South is not safe at all. I mean, I was walking myself in the middle of the night to the sound of heavy bombardment. Bombardment was constant during the day, during the night, every hour, and you have whole buildings shaking, and you can't but think about fathers and mothers and older people and children themselves, the fear that this leaves in people's hearts. So it's very, very good that there is this pause. At least people will have some respite for a few days. And we do hope that this turns into a long-term ceasefire, humanitarian ceasefire.
Yes, that is the hope of many. Juliette, thank you so much for joining us from East Jerusalem. Stay safe.